Modern Nigeria is a place of great inequality and ethnic division. We are approaching Abuja, the capital of Nigeria, a place where wealth can be seen through lavish buildings and excessive decoration. Drive east a couple of miles to the city of Jos Plateau, and you will find a much different picture. This picture of inequality is a far cry from how the leadership pictured it just 40 years ago. Here is the Prime Minister of Nigeria, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, speaking just days after Nigeria gained independence.
Being able to leave your country within only 2 or 3 days of its independence is a sign of confidence in the administration you leave behind.
Well, everything is, I think I would say, though people say nothing is perfect, but I think everything is perfect at home. We haven't got any trouble whatsoever.
Well, the same, unfortunately, can hardly be said for the United Nations. Do you hope to be speaking to the General Assembly yourself?
I hope to, yes.
I don't know whether you noticed a remark made by Mr. Nehru the other day, that when a neutral country joins a neutral bloc, it ceases to be neutral.
Exactly. I entirely agree with him. I told reporters in Lagos the same thing yesterday evening. They said, well, what about the neutralist group? I said, well, they are committed.
So what kind of neutralism do you envisage? You really think it's going to be possible?
I don't like this idea of neutrality. I don't like the word, you know. I think it's the wrong word.
How do you hope to maintain your real independence of the political world?
We want to pursue an independent view.
The positive attitude expressed by Sir Balewa is a far cry from the realities of post-colonial Nigeria. Decolonization as it happened was ultimately a negative watershed event in Nigerian history that holds a fundamental role and responsibility in shaping it into the country it became. The hasty decolonization of Nigeria left the country with no real infrastructure and myriad ethnic divisions and economic problems to attempt to govern itself. It failed to do so effectively, as demonstrated by the Biafran Civil War, the following failure of governance, and its perpetual corruption, even to this day. Economic development during the period of colonial rule was both advanced and very prosperous. During this period, granite trade was booming. Tin and coal were discovered in Jos and Enugu respectively. The Lagos Railroad line was built and a port in Equity Platarcus expanded the export trade. These new opportunities were taken advantage of by Nigerians from across the country, uplifting a generation of people. Post-decolonization, the economy was handled by a government unable to govern itself. Predictably, everything fell apart. Government subsidies on oil prices in Nigeria over the last 30 years have largely been a product of corruption and a source of government revenue for corrupt officials. This misplaced focus of funds has left many Nigerians destitute and in poverty.
Fuel subsidy itself is a product of fraud and indolence on the part of the government.
Nigerians have to sacrifice more. Nigerians have sacrificed everything. There's nothing left to sacrifice. I'm sorry, Mrs. Okonjo-Iweala. We have nothing else to sacrifice. You know, the government's turn to sacrifice.
We give all the best we can for this government to be installed. Yet, after the selection of this government, there's no time we are insecure like this time. There's no time Nigerians are unsafe like this time. There's no time we experience.
Murtala Sharu Dala a gabana jami'an tsaro sun harbi mutum biyu har lahira yanzu. Waɗansu sun harbi mutum a bakin shiga gidan Gamben House. Suna nan suna harba mutane. Yanzu kai.
Not only was the post-colonial government fraudulent and incompetent at handling the economy, the Biafran Civil War demonstrated the ethnic tensions in the country. Unresolved ethnic tensions, spurred on by a hasty decolonization that would rip the government apart. This speech by General Amaka Ojukwu represents the sentiments of the people of Biafran who waged civil war against the government, on the basis of ethnic unfairness.
The present conflict can now be resolved by individual states taking initiative by recognizing our right to existence and urging on Nigeria to abandon her war of aggression against an injured people. Having failed on all scores, the Nigerians have raised the bogey of a minority in Biafra being forced into independence against their wish.
Soldiers came to attack the people on the streets. Everybody ran into...
The Biafran Civil War, also known as the Nigerian Civil War, was a conflict caused by the succession or the attempted succession of the southeastern provinces of Nigeria, or self-proclaimed as the Republic of Biafra. The conflict was mainly a result of ethnic, cultural, and religious tensions among the people of Nigeria. A conflict that could have been avoided if decolonization had been less hasty, more thought out, more organized, and undergone in a strategic and timely way. As with other African nations, Nigeria isn't a country strictly speaking. It's an artificial structure initiated by former colonial powers, which had neglected to consider religious, linguistic, and ethnic differences. This negligence caused much of the ensuing conflicts post-colonization. There is no doubt that the process of decolonization left Nigeria in a state of ruin, with unresolved ethnic divisions tearing a country apart and unneeded government subsidies pouring money into unneeded places.
Something, I'm giving up on you. I'll be the one if you want me to. Anywhere I would have followed you.
And then 5 minutes later, we regrouped and stood on the streets and started singing the national anthem. That for me was a defining moment.
Even with the state decolonization left Nigeria in, the future of the country is not bleak. With an active population and a government that is only now open to change, Nigeria can become a functioning government and country. We have no doubt that the hasty process of decolonization had a huge responsibility in leaving Nigeria in ruins for much of its history, to which it is only now recovering.